You guys, I'm Mikey Microphone, and the microphone is a metaphor for the fact that you have something beautiful to say, but you need to make the arrangements so that you can be heard. So I've just meditated, but I haven't yet gone for my run, and I debated about whether to shake out some more thoughts so that I could try to refocus during my exercise, or whether to try to let these thoughts get processed into an even more refined form. And I realize this is an important dilemma. It speaks a lot to the quality of what we can share and the amount of low quality information that we are all subject to. Hitting the right frequency, I guess what I'm thinking is that hitting a lower frequency ups the quality of the content. But if you wait too long before sharing the content, then you miss out on the chance to get feedback, which enriches you. So I have a hunch that the right frequency might be informed by the concept of an exponential back off. So in technology, often you'll have a client-server architecture, and the client will ping the server or make a request to the server, and sometimes the server is busy or it's down, so it will not give a response. So the best way to manage that situation seems to be that you will retry the request with a frequency that is kind of like a Fibonacci thing. It's an exponential back off. So first you'll retry it after 1 second, let's say. Then you'll retry it after 3 seconds. Then you'll retry it after 5, and then you'll retry it after 10. Something like that, where the periodicity keeps increasing. And that's because of the most likely scenarios for why that response was not returned. Sometimes the server is busy, and if you give it a little time, it will respond to you. Other times, the server is down, and you need to wait a longer time before it will return to you. And so in terms of our communication with other people, I'm wondering if this might also be the case. When you ask somebody a question, or you ask them for a favor, or you ask them for feedback, if they don't get back to you, then how long should you wait before asking them again? And then if they don't get back to you again, how long should you wait before asking them again? So what is the structure of the reasons why they are likely not getting back to you, and how does that inform your decision about when to try again and how to try again, really? And I feel like missing the boat on using the proper frequency is a common reason why people get bitter and frozen and tense and rigor mortis, you know? Like if I ask somebody for feedback and they never get back to me, I'm like, oh, well, I guess that means I don't need to bother with them, and I cold them out, and then I suffer my own pain and self-pity. So I think that it is important to ping people with some frequency. And I was actually just thinking, I was like, I wonder if I can get to 100 videos on my channel before I get to 100 views. And so there's a couple things that occurred to me there. One is that when I'm going through this feedback cycle of learning by going public and observing what I can learn simply by doing that, I'm taking off so quickly that if people don't start to catch up with me soon, they won't be able to meet me at the point where I'm at. And you know, a lot of these videos are already referring to things that I've explained previously, so I might be in danger of busting the learning curve. And this is something that I observed when I was watching my friend Carter's videos, who I was able to feature on Facebook today, that some of the language and discussion in his videos is starting to become confusing enough that if you don't get on that rocket ship soon, you might be more intimidated, and we might need an intermediary thinker to start to analyze and explain Carter's findings, kind of like restarting from scratch and trying to reprocess some of that analysis in a way that can be more approachable. So those are some of the kind of exponential ideas that are occurring to me, and thinking about the frequency that makes sense for me to express myself versus, shut up and wait until I actually learn from everyone else. And one thing that occurred to me is by posting all these videos, so if I use the best tags, then YouTube will be able to follow up this video with my other videos where I explained these theories. If I went through the time to properly tag all my videos and decorate them with nice splash screens, and maybe even the time to use a tripod instead of just handheld, and so on, then my frequency would be lower and the richness of the content would be higher. But I feel like if I am participating in this exponential back off sequence, it kind of makes sense for me to pop up and blurt out the thing that is bugging me the most. And it's okay if I do that a few times in a row, and then my next video there will be a longer lead time, but that's okay because I can recover some of the same ground, and that video can be a higher quality, so people won't need to watch the ones that I just made to get them out of my system. So those are some more thoughts about this process that I'm discovering through the use of YouTube. So I know that a lot of you have been using it for longer than me, or at least longer than I have with this channel. And I really would love some of your feedback to help me clean up some of those things that I just got wrong, and we can work together to see who is the first one to get it right. All right, thanks a lot.